Welcome back to iTech Aspirant. In the previous video, we created a simple Click Me button in Kotlin and linked it to our layout XML file. In today's video, we're going to take that one step further. We'll create an addition calculator page and then link our button to this new page. Before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to all of you. We've crossed 100 subscribers, and it's all because of your amazing support. If you're watching and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button now and join the journey. There's a lot more useful content coming your way. Now let's get started with today's tutorial. First, let's build the calculator UI. Then we'll connect it with the button in our main activity. First, we create a new Kotlin activity file named like addition calculator. Right-click on it, go to New, Activity and then select Empty Views Activity. Give activity name like at calculator. Make sure to check the option to automatically create the XML layout file. This will give us activity at clc.xml file. Choose Kotlin as a source language and click Finish. Wait for Gradles to import for our new files. Here's our XML file created automatically. It's in our layout folder with previous XML file. Now, let's start writing the XML code to design the layout for our addition calculator. This is our Kotlin file of the XML code. The constraint layout file is automatically created, but we use linear layout now. Select and remove this, except the first line. In the next video, I'll explain different types of layouts, but for now, we'll keep it simple with linear layout. Right match parent in both width and height. First, we add the XML namespace lines at the top. It tells the system we're using Android's built-in attribute. Also add tools, it helps with layout previews. Write Android before them. Set orientation to vertical, which means all the elements inside this linear layout will be arranged from top to bottom. Set padding 16 dp. This adds space around the edges of the layout to keep things from touching the screen borders. Now let's add our first input field using edit text. Layout width is set to match parent so it stretches across the screen, and layout height is wrap content so it adjusts based on the content. We add input type, number, so the user gets a number keypad when typing. Set Android text for displaying text on it. Place your cursor on it and click on Extract String Resources. Click OK. We give it an ID of num1 so we can reference it later in our Kotlin code. Set minimum height to make sure the text field is tall enough to be easily clickable. Now do as it is for second number. Change its ID and text. Let's solve this warning. Add this to ignore that. Next, we add a button that the user will tap to perform the addition. Set to wrap content, which means the button will only be as big as its text. Set text like add. Set gravity to center to position the button in the horizontal center of the screen. We set the ID to add button so we can access it in our Kotlin code later. Now let's add a text view, which will display the result of the addition. Just like the button, its width and height are set to wrap content, so it adjusts based on the text inside. Set text something like result. We also set text size to 18sp to make the result a bit more readable, and use layout gravity at center to keep it aligned nicely. Lastly, padding top to 16 dp, it adds some space above it so it doesn't stick too close to the button. I accidentally used Android text instead of Android hint. Let's go ahead and fix that. We use hint here because we want to show placeholder text before the user types anything. Since this resource name is already used, I'll just add a 1 at the end to make it unique. That way, we avoid any conflicts in the project. Do same for second number. I'm explaining each step in detail because this is a very basic beginner level tutorial, so don't worry if you're new to this. Just follow along. Here's the strings.xml file. This is where all our extracted strings are stored. It helps keep our app organized and makes it easier to manage text, especially if we ever need to support multiple languages. To remove the autofill warning from our edit text, I've added Android autofill hints equals to empty. This disables Android's autofill suggestions for this field, which we don't really need for simple number input. Now let's walk through the Kotlin code inside our addCalc class. If there's ComponentActivity, change the class to extend AppCompatActivity. If you see an error, it's likely because the dependency isn't added. First import AndroidX.appcompat.app.AppCompatActivity. Now in my case, there's no error with AppCompatActivity. I'm just showing you this step in case you face it. So if you don't see any error here, you can simply skip ahead for a few moments. Then add a line to build.gradle.kts MobileApp module under Dependencies. Under Dependencies, write this if it's not present. If you still see an error red line under AppCompatActivity, do one more change, and inside libs.versions.toml. Add this line under Libraries. I provide them in the description. Click on Sync Now and wait for sync. Now let's remove the extra lines from our Kotlin code to keep it clean and easy to read. On Create is to make sure the activity is properly initialized. Set Content View sets the layout file we created earlier as the UI for this activity. Next, we create references to our input fields, button, and result display using findViewById. This connects the Kotlin code to the UI elements defined in XML. num1 and num2 are the two edit text fields. Add button is the button the user will click. Make sure to write the exact ID while creating references. If you see a red error line under button, just press Alt plus Enter or manually import it by adding import android.widget.button at the top of your file. That'll fix the issue. Result text is the text view, where the result will be shown. Import class text view. Imports are at the top of your file. We set an on-click listener on the button. This means that when the user taps the Add button, this block of code will run. Inside the click listener, we take the text from both input fields, convert it to a string, and then try to convert it to an integer using toInt or null. Then we check if both numbers are not null. If they are valid, we calculate their sum. Show a formatted message, like the sum is 10. Click on More Actions and then extract string resource. But if the user entered something invalid, like empty fields or text, we show an error message using another string resource called invalid input. These are not necessary, so you can also remove them. Now let's move to our main activity where we'll link our button to open the addition calculator page. If you have any error in this, again watch my previous video carefully. Now we use a try block. We create an intent, which tells Android to open the add calculator activity. This is our add calculator activity class. The start activity intent line actually launches the new screen. And just in case there's an error, the catch block will show an error message using another toast. That way, our app doesn't crash. Import intent. Length long keeps the message on screen a little longer, around 3.5 seconds. Let's change this button name. Instead of Click Me, we'll change it to Open Add Calculator so it clearly shows what the button does. Let's check what's going wrong. There is an issue in line 32. These are just some unused import warnings. They're not errors, but it's a good idea to clean them up to keep your code neat and organized. Now, after completing everything, let's connect your mobile phone to Android Studio and run the app to see it in action. Make sure USB debugging is enabled on your phone, and select it from the list of available devices. Our app crashed because we forgot to update one important line in the themes. XML, let's quickly fix that so the app can run smoothly. In Themes file, look for the line that says theme.material, day-night. Now change it to theme. AppCompat.light.dark action bar. Remove Android from there. Alright, let's fix a few layout issues before our final run. First, Our edit text is stuck at the top and not clearly visible. We'll add a top margin of 100 dp to push it down for better spacing. Next, when we press the Add button, the result shows an extra bracket. That's because of a typo in the strings XML file. Just remove the closing bracket from the result string. Now everything looks good. Let's run the app one final time and check the output. Now enter any two numbers in the input fields and click the Add button. And yes, our calculator is working properly and showing the correct result. And that's it for today's video. You've successfully created a new addition calculator page and linked it with a button from your main screen. In the next video, we'll explore different layout types and improve the design. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you found this helpful. Also, check the description for the required dependencies and code. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.